everybody. This is Jacob with
Signature Property Inspections.
There you go. So Jacob, you and I have worked together for several years. We've been in and around town on different properties and stuff. And I just wanted to kind of give people an idea from an expert like you, what it's like from your perspective. Because one of the things that I like to make sure my clients understand is that the home inspection is where we jump off, right? So you guys are checking a gajillion items. I mean, I say gajillion, it's more like probably close to 2,000, right?
It's a big list. Yes, ma'am.
What I like to inform my buyers is that when we get the home inspection, this is where the rubber meets the road on if you need to do more inspection. You're an expert in a lot of things, but the buyer needs to decide, okay, do I need to go get just a roof guy? Do I need to go get just a pool guy? Am I right in explaining it that way? Or help me out?
Yeah, that's great because a lot of people get stuck on the cosmetic items in the house, but and that's our job, like you mentioned, coming in, because a lot of people right now are first-time homebuyers are coming back, which they were gone for a while because of the interest rates. So they're all excited getting their first house, making sure their couch will fit, their TV will fit on this wall. They're not looking at the structure of the property as we do. That way, we're a third party, non-biased. So, as much as we would love your deal to close, our job is actually to protect the client because they're our client. So,
right.
So we protect you as the agent and we protect the client to make sure that they're not walking into a disaster.
and we've done that a few times.
For sure. And some people, what we would call a disaster is perfectly fine with them because, if there's roof problems, maybe their uncle's a roofer. If there's plumbing leaks, maybe their uncle's a plumber. We've learned over the years what's big to us is not big to them, or vice versa. What's big to, your clients is not big to us. So, there's a fine line because you can't blow stuff out of proportion because some stuff isn't as big to others as you would think.
You're absolutely right, because so many times I have to kind of like do a side eye to my clients of like, okay, that's not a big deal. Like, don't spend a lot of time on that because, like an uneven step off the back patio we're not going to crash this deal and not buy this house because a step is not the right dimensions or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's great that you as a realtor does that because, as you know, our inspections are very lengthy with a ton of pictures to provide. And, there's some non-seasoned agents that will send over a 60 item request for repair list. And that's not on a house built in the 40s. So that's not really fair to the seller. I'm not telling agents how to do their job, but an agent should sit down and be the mediator between the two. And, 100%. Health and safety. That's what we like to do. Health and safety. Right. Don't worry about that somebody, kicked a hole in the wall. That's an easy patch. We can, it just needs to be mediated. In some instances, a little better.
Like you said, you check plumbing, you check roof, you check dishwashers and tubs and drainage and crawl spaces and if it's open and if the weep screed is whatever. Like I never thought I'd have weep screed in a sentence, but good Lord.
I wish I had that vision. I could see through a wall.
So how long have you been doing this, by the way, Jacob? I don't even know. How long have you been doing this?
So I started doing home inspections in 2009.
Oh, nice.
2009, open signature, 2010, with just myself and my wife was doing all the book work. And from that, it's
a lot more than just you and your wife now.
Yes. Yeah. So now we have four full-time home inspectors. We're keeping up. The market, I'm sure you're seeing, is starting to, I feel a little momentum in the market right now because our schedule is looking very, very full, which is awesome heading into summer, which normally it is.
Well, because we're in pool season. It's hot.
Right.
People want to buy a house with a pool and not be hot. So it kind of always is, but it's spring anyway. So that those two combined, especially in Bakersfield, it's always like, oh, I've got more to do right now. Okay. I was going to ask you something. So when you were talking about how it was just you and your wife running the show, like when you bring on somebody, obviously you guys, there's like inspector school or something. And then how does it work before they're out on their own?
What we do here at Signature is all the guys have to be certified through school. They have to take continued education classes. They have to maintain good standing in those classes.
Oh, nice.
And retake the exam every 3 years.
Is it like ours? We have to renew every 4 years. So you guys have to renew yours every 3?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But there's a catch. California is a non-licensed state. So anyone can be a home inspector. And you're seeing some out there that, have no background in construction or stuff that just want to start a home inspection company, which is great. Wish them the best of luck. But as the consumer, as the agent, you dig a little deep, make sure that you're getting good quality inspector. They know construction, they know what they're talking about, because your clients are making which probably is their biggest investment, biggest purchase of their life. So you want to have some knowledge behind that purchase.
Yeah, we don't need the I know a guy, and that's a ton of liability on somebody's back if they miss something, call something incorrectly. I would not ever recommend that.
Yeah, we do with our company that, some people just overlook because it's not going to happen to me. Well, state of California, it could happen to you. It's happened to us. I'm not going to lie. It's happened to us.
That's why we all have insurance.
Yeah, we have insurance. Knock on wood, we don't have to use it, but it's there. You just never know.
What is something that you wish buyers would know? Like if you're getting ready to, just John Q buyer, what do you wish they would know?
I wish they would know that we are looking out for their best interests, not you as a realtor, even though we love you realtors, and that if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be in business. Our best interest is actually for them. A lot of them don't see that perspective and they think, oh, you're just friends with this realtor, that's why you hired him. And they'll go.
You're absolutely right. I have encountered that conversation.
Yeah, so that's
right.
real. Yeah, that's what a misconception to a T.
Sure, I clarify that. Like, yes, he's my colleague, he's my friend, but he's here to protect you. I'll make sure I say it in a way that they understand it better.
Yeah.
Because you're not the enemy, you're looking out for them.
Yeah, I'm not hiring him because he's gonna hide stuff on the inspection and make our deal close.
Right.
I'm here for them.
Right.
Yeah,
I love that, Jacob. I love that. Okay, we're gonna keep this question PG because I follow Inspection Shenanigans on Instagram. He's one of your teammates, or how do you describe it?
Oh, he's my lead inspector. That's Victor.
So he finds some pretty interesting things and he puts them on there, and I'm usually asking him, like, what is that animal? What is that? And they'll say, oh, it's a dead cat, or oh, it's a, whatever. What is, again, PG, what is one of the more interesting things you have found in your years of doing this in a house or under a house?
Keeping it PG, huh? Well, getting into attics, you find all kinds of amazing stuff up in attics. There's the nudie magazines, there's bras, there's stuff that...
An attic? A bra?
Yeah, that one up in Lake Isabella, there was multiple. So I don't know if there was like a fetish and they just counted every time, like, all right, chalk one up there. I don't know, but there was it was Halloween time, vacant house, short sale, but they had one of those. I opened a closet and they had a life-size Freddy Krueger mannequin with a chainsaw.
No way.
I would have walked was down. I opened up the door and look up and I see Freddy Krueger with a chainsaw right at me. So I did step back a little bit on that one, and Betty will remember that one because I saw her not too long ago and she brought it up to me. So that's a good PG story. That's
hilarious. We've talked about like the heat here in Bakersfield, right? And so I feel bad sometimes when we have these afternoon inspections and I'm like, dang, it's 104 outside. That attic has got to be the sun. Is it hotter in the attic sometimes or on the roof?
Yeah, I would say attic for sure. But sometimes you get up on those roofs on a 110, 115 degree day, and it's almost better to just ladder the roof because the granules on that composition roof start getting a little slippery and melting per se. So, but the reflection off of that composition gets a little intense as well. But some of the attics, I have some memories pop up every once in a while. We're at 140, 150 up there. So
temperature?
Yeah.
Get in, get out. You can freaking
I gotta do it. I gotta get it. Yeah, I gotta check. I gotta make sure there's nothing up there.
Okay, if you take out this last winter, we generally don't get a lot of rain. This last winter, we got a lot of rain. But what happens when it rains? Are you still gonna do your home inspection, or like, I don't even remember if we've done one in the rain. I can't even remember because we don't get a lot here. But what happens then?
Yeah, so that's a great question. A lot of people will call the morning of or that night, the night before, and say, should we cancel the inspection since it's going to be raining tomorrow or there's a chance of rain? And my response right away is no. That's the perfect time to get up in that attic and see if there's any water coming down, or you've got a small leak up in the attic. You know, maybe it hasn't made it all the way down through the insulation on the sheetrock in the bedroom or living room, but it's dripping out a roof jack, or, you know, a vent, something leaving the roof. Maybe we have a penetration, a valley that's leaking. It's a real minor leak that hasn't shown through the house itself, but we can see it on that rainy day because, you know, it's like a cheat code. We get to use the rain. You know?
All right. So before you were like Signature, what did you do before? Because you were in the home industry. You weren't a realtor, right? What did you do?
No. So when I got done in college in '97, I started working at an electrical company in town. And after that, I worked at a local home builder from 2003 to 2008, before the market kind of shifted. Worked at that housing development for that gentleman, and we were more of a production builder. But yeah, we built houses for about 5 years together.
I had another question. So you were a home builder, and then you went into home inspection. And you were talking about like new construction, kind of like, you know, like what a Balfans or a Castle and Cook would be like. You know, they're building communities is what you were doing, right? Yeah. Okay. We get this question a lot about new construction. So new construction, people assume like, well, there's nothing to be inspected. But I'm a big advocate of it, as a lot of my colleagues are. How do you feel about inspections on new construction?
New construction is probably more vital than a resale. Not that they are doing it on purpose, but I've been into houses, new construction, where there's no insulation in the attic. So there people are on their final walkthrough, and we get up into the attic and there's no insulation. That's happened one time in thousands of inspections on new construction. But new construction inspections are beginning to be more prevalent. A lot of time, the builders, which were national builders, were trying to say no.
They were trying to push back on you guys coming in as inspectors.
Yeah, they didn't want any third-party inspections. You know, they just wanted to do their walkthroughs. But the national companies are opening up a little bit, and we're getting in. We do have to stay off the roofs. We can only ladder from the sides. They don't want us walking on the tile. And they want copies of our insurance and the endo. So that's all fine, but they are letting us in, and buyers are taking advantage of it. We're doing a lot. I would say 2 to 3 a week, new construction inspections.
And do you recommend a pre drywall as well as the blue tape at the end? Do you recommend both?
Yeah, we do both. We've done both. Okay. Yeah, we do pre drywall. Yeah, we get a set of plans from the builder and make sure that the electrical outlets are where they're supposed to be, and you know, plumbing looks good. All the trusses in the attic look fine. Nothing's broken. Once it's sheetrocked and insulation's in the attic on the final, it's kind of hard to get around because that insulation, we don't want to disturb it because it's so beautiful and fluffy. We can get as far as we can get without disturbing it.
I know that I recommend sometimes to my clients that are a little nervous about what a home inspection will look like to do one before we even list the property. I know there are some agents that's part of their protocol. They do it all the time. I usually decide when I'm kind of getting a feel for my seller.
A pre-listing inspection is very valuable because it'll help the escrow process in regards to requests for repairs. So if we do the inspection, it's kind of a twofold. So you get us in there and we find some issues. You call the plumber and get the water heater strapped. You get all the stuff that a home inspector is going to call. And maybe it's an older couple in Sundale that they're living, you know, they're not checking items. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we get in there, and then the list gets fixed, the health and safety. You're not going to fix stains on carpet or tile.
Right.
And then when you do list that house, you can say, hey, Signature's already been in there. Here's the list. Here are receipts. Here's the roof cert. Here's the AC that's been serviced.
Right.
Here's this, here's that. And guess what? You probably don't have to get another inspector in that house.
Right. So the buyer of that property would be like, oh, it's all buttoned up. All I've got to do is just replace the floors. Easy peasy.
Right. So you have a reputable company that did it. It's going to save the buyer $350, $400.
Right.
And your escrow is, you know, requests for repairs are going to be slim or none because, you know, pre-listing is pretty vital. Yeah.
I love that advice. I am so stoked to have had you on here to introduce you to everybody that is watching and listening. But I just think it's so important for people to understand, like, You guys are not like fly by night. You guys are one of the most reputable companies in Bakersfield and Kern County, I would imagine. But you guys go all over the state anyway, but like mainly here in Kern County, that's where I'm the expert. That's where your company is based out of. I'm so grateful for you to come on and share all your knowledge.
I'm honored to be asked to be on here, so thank you.
Yeah, you bet. And so Signature Property Inspections. Where else can we find you? Obviously, inspection shenanigans.
Yeah.
But where else can we find you?
We have a website, signaturepropertyinspections.com. And if you need to call and set up an inspection, you can call me at 661-809-9926.
Thank you so much, Jacob. I appreciate you doing this with me.
Yeah, thank you.